Hello and welcome to Mica Tutorials. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss the keywords that are related to exception handling. We know that exception handling is the mechanism by which we can avoid the abnormal termination of our code which occurs due to the exceptions which takes place at the runtime. So there are 5 keywords which can be used in exception handling in Java, and they are try, catch, finally, throw and throws. Now we will see the use of each of these keywords in detail. The very first keyword is try keyword. We use a try block for exception handling, and try block is used to enclose the code that might throw an exception. That is, we put those statements that might cause exception in our code. And try block must be followed by either catch block or finally block. And this is the syntax of writing the try block. We give the try keyword and then we put the block of code, and this is followed by either the catch block or by the finally block. If we have to put both catch block and finally block, then this would be the sequence. We first give the try block, which is followed by the catch block, and then finally is given. That is, first try block, then catch, and then finally is given. Now the second keyword related to exception handling is catch. Catch block is used to handle the exception. That is, here we put the code which should be executed if exception occurs, then control goes to the catch block. So we say that catch block specifies what is to be done when actually an exception occurs, and it must follow the try block only. We can give multiple catch blocks with a single try block. If we are giving multiple catch blocks, then we can make different tasks to be done in case of different exceptions. But at a time, only one catch block is executed. And catch blocks, whenever given more than one, they should be ordered from most specific to most general. We can take an example to make it more clear how to write try block, how to put catch block, and what is the purpose of these blocks. So we can move to Eclipse to write our code. In previous examples, we have seen that we had this divide method in which we were reading the numbers from the user A and B, and then we were trying to perform A divided by B, and this method was getting called in the main method. Now here, when user was entering B as 0, then this was causing the abnormal termination of our code. We can execute it and check. Now here, suppose if we give 12 and the second divisor as 2, then it will work fine. We are getting result and we are getting rest of the code executed. But if we give 12 and 0, then it is causing java.lang.arithmetic exception, division by 0. So now what we have to do, we have to use try catch block so that our program does not get terminated abnormally. That is, we should get this rest of the code even if exception occurs in our code. So for that, what we need to do, we need to first add try block. We know that try block consists of those statements that might cause exception in our code. And in our case, this statement C equals A divided by B is the statement that might cause exception if user enters B as 0. So here we need to enclose this inside the try block. So here we have two statements in try block. First the division, and then the result of the division is to be displayed. Now we know this try block should be followed either by the catch block or by the finally block. So here we will add catch block. Now with the catch block, we need to specify the name of the exception class which is to be caught. So here we will give arithmetic exception, since the exception that might occur in our code is of arithmetic exception type. So here we will give arithmetic exception, and then we give the name of the reference variable that we are taking is E. And now here within the catch block, we can specify what is to be done if the exception occurs in our code. What we can do, we can print the details of the exception, and then we can give our own message as well. Like here we are giving that divisor cannot be 0. Okay, so here now what will happen, if the exception occurs in our code, then control will go to the catch block and this code will be executed. Now what will be the flow of execution if the exception does not occur? Now we know that execution is going to begin from the main method, then divide method is getting called, so control will go to this divide method where user will be asked to enter two numbers that are getting stored in A and B respectively. Then control goes to this try block where division will take place. If B is non-zero, then this statement will be executed, that is it will print the value of result. Catch block will not be executed in that case, and control will move back to the main method where we will get rest of the code displayed. But what if exceptions occur in our code? That is, suppose if user enters B as 0, then this statement will cause exception. So from here control will directly go to the catch block, that is it will try to match what is the type of exception that has occurred and what is the exception that we are catching. Since it will lead to the arithmetic exception, we are catching arithmetic exception only, then catch block will be executed, and this from here control will go to main method back and this rest of the code will be displayed. Now the important thing is here that when exception will occur, this result will not get displayed, because once exception occurs in try block, then from here control directly goes to the catch block. Remaining statements of the try block will never get executed. So we can execute our code and verify the output. Let's test first with non-zero value. Let's say 4. We are getting result is 3 and then rest of the code. That is, this statement got executed, this got executed, catch did not get the control since there was no exception, and then control went back to the main method. So we are getting rest of the code. Now let us test it for 0. Let's say 14 and 0. Now here see, this statement is causing exception in our code. So from here exception will be thrown implicitly and that is getting caught in this reference variable E. So here then we are displaying the details of exception and then divisor cannot be 0. This result is not getting executed because from here control directly goes to the catch block. From C equals A divided by B, control goes to the catch block. So after completion of catch block, control goes to the main method where we are getting rest of the code executed in the normal manner. So this is how we can simply handle an exception by giving the try catch block. In next tutorial, we will see how we can give multiple catch blocks with the single try block. For now, we have seen that try encloses the code that might cause exception and catch is the handler block, that is what is to be done if the exception occurs in our code. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Subscribe the channel for more updates.